Tēnā koutou, ko Maria Chenaho, haere mai ki te rihua. Welcome to the Moana Nui a Kiwa Centre at the University of Canterbury. I'm an associate at Athfield Architects, and I've had the privilege to work with a fabulous team on this project. So, let me give you a little bit more background to this project and how it came about. After the 2010 and 2011 earthquakes, the former Commerce building at the university suffered extensive damage. In 2013, Athfield and Homes Consulting Group started to put together a scheme to completely gut out, re-strengthen, reclad and reconfigure the interior space to suit the College of Education, Health and Human Development. At the first concept meeting with our clients, we quickly identified they have a strong commitment to support Māori and Pacifica education. For example, their Bachelor of Teaching and Learning have a strong emphasis on cultural competency and inclusive education. Students are expected to obtain high levels of te reo proficiency. It's also one of their pillars of commitment to improve the integration of Māori staff and student bases in education. The design of their new home should reflect their aspirations, and it was our goal to create a culturally inclusive space for Māori and Pacifica groups. The Moana Nui a Kiwa Centre stemmed from a need of a multi-purpose space where the college can host formal and informal events. These include porphyries, graduations, seminars, workshops, staff meetings, student gatherings, etc. The space is actually an existing space in the Commerce building, which was called the Copper Top due to the copper cladding. It used to be the staff room of the Commerce building, but it was very much dated and underutilized. Here's some photos of before. I must attribute much of the success of the space to our clients. They were extremely well organized and diligent. The team at Capital Works were amazing. They set up a cultural stakeholder group during develop design stage of the project, which included university, Māori and Pacifica representatives. They were our liaison with Ngāi Tahu and Mana Whenua. So we ran several workshops with the stakeholder group to identify the motifs, the themes and ideas we'd like to explore. These included native landscapes, traditional and local architecture, traditional crafts and arts. We worked closely with the clients and the stakeholder groups to develop the final scheme. We were very lucky as we quickly identified many existing established designs we could use and tap into. These included the university commissioned kōwhaiwhai pattern found in the collection of Māori arts. This was carved into the timber beams inside the Moana Centre. We also engaged with artists and students to discuss these ideas. One person in particular is Hori Matiki. He's a graphics designer who was working for the university at the time. He previously designed the graphics on the emergency towers which dotted around the campus, and we tapped into his knowledge and graphics for this place as well. Inside the center, we chose to put emphasis in the ceiling while keeping the rest of the walls and floors minimal and clutter-free. The ceiling beams gives a nod to the marae, which is obvious, but it's also inspired by a small beautiful church in Banks Peninsula. The timber used is sustainably sourced matai trees. It's a dominant fauna in the Riccarton Bush area when the Māori settled here. The timber shrouds the beams and then it's CNC routed with the kōwhaiwhai patterns, and each section then put together to form a continuous beam. So here's some photos of the prototypes we made. The darker timber slatted panels behind or next to the beams forms a backdrop it also provides the space with acoustic comfort. In the foyer where you came in, we incorporated strong Pacifica designs. The tablecloth wraps around the curved wall displays a traditional floral design. The Pacifica stakeholder group identified this design as the most welcoming and the best to give the Pacifica visitors, students, and staff a sense of joy. The timber-clad wall behind it, or to the left, is made from sustainably sourced Fijian kauri, weaved together much like the traditional weaving techniques found in many of these island nations. Special panels were designed with CNC routed patterns, which symbolizes different Pacific Island nations spread across Moana Nui, Kiwa, the Pacific Ocean. Here's some of the prototypes the guys at CNC Routing made. They took upon themselves to further craft the details of the patterns, making them even better than we imagined. During the design process, we aim to be open and listen actively to our clients' needs. We respect and learned a lot from them, their knowledge, and what it means to be multicultural. I'm not an expert in Māori or Pacifica designs, and this space is only made possible with a vast number of contributors. It's never easy to be engaged with so many groups. Each group comes with their own agenda, but I think it's really worth our efforts as architects to create spaces and experiences that could inspire others. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your tour.